there's a green flag tied to them somehow.
Howdy Meowers, my name is Fury X-atron, and welcome back to the BlushCat podcast. Today we are talking about K-pop green flags.
Oh my god, Fury X-atron is back. This is the greatest day. Hello everyone. My name is Devin. Yes, so last time, that's not the right thing to say, but previously we talked about red flags, K-pop red flags.
I believe it was episode 68.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, things that were like, if we were to hear someone say that, we would be like, ooh, I got to keep my eye on you. Red flag. But now we're switching it up. We're doing green flags.
Yes, this is more geared towards K-pop fans, not green flags in a K-pop group.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Do we need to do any bell ringer or should we just get started?
I would like to give like a general like brief overview of what my green flags really kind of are like looking for or pointing towards.
Okay.
So basically for me, a green flag, it's not just about like, oh, you also stan that group. Oh, that's also your number one person, right? No, because maybe you stan that group for completely different reasons than I do. Or, maybe you like that group a little too much, right? So for me, green flags are about like showing that you're interested in K-pop while still being respectful of K-pop, of the people of the groups, and not being too obsessive. Okay. So like my green flags are keeping that balance. I tried to pick things that are showcasing like, oh, okay, so that shows that I feel like you're liking K-pop in kind of like the quote unquote right way. I know we're going to sound like a little, well, at least me probably, I'm going to sound a little pretentious because, it's kind of like, oh, you like this, it kind of, I can understand how people could see that perspective when people start talking about like, this is a green flag or this is a red flag, as in people are doing things right or wrong.
Okay.
But that's not to say that if you don't do these things, that you're not like, a perfectly fine K-pop fan or whatever. It's like this is an extra boost. And also if you could do these things, and also I could think you're crazy.
I agree with that sentiment.
Okay.
Like, these aren't like make or break.
Right. Yeah. It's just like, it's a good early indicator.
Mm-hmm. Yes, green flags. I mean, that is the concept of a green flag.
Yes, sometimes I guess people get caught up with like the sentiment without thinking about like the severity. I don't know. So I just wanted to say that ahead of time.
Okay, I have sort of a mixed bag in my green flags. I have no idea how mine are going to compare to yours, like in terms of content, like of what my green flags are, but whatever, this is what I have today.
Okay. Oh, and also I tried to not just make green flags, like it was kind of hard, but I was trying to not make green flags that were just the opposite of my red flags. Like, oh, one of my red flags was if you don't like Shonu or Anton, or like it listed some people, and so was like not going to turn around and be like, okay, so a green flag would be if you do like those people. And not all red flags, the opposite would be a green flag. Sometimes the opposite would just be like normal.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, so yes, remember if you haven't heard our red flags episode, you can go ahead and check that out. But let's get started with our K-pop green flags. How about, I feel like maybe we have one that is sort of overarching. Like, do you think we have any similar ones that we should start with?
Oh gosh, I don't know. If you think we do, then go right ahead.
Okay, well, I have Standing Plave is a green flag.
Okay. Yes. I went a little further than that.
Okay.
I said if you watch Plave live streams, that's a green flag.
Okay.
So like you don't have to be watching them live, but like if you partake in that content consumption, I feel like you like K-pop, but also you like sort of like, creator content. And I feel like that would be a green flag.
I almost wrote that. I almost got into the specifics and wrote watching live streams is a green flag, but I didn't.
Okay, well, I'll bring up this one next because it's like kind of connected to our red flags episode. We had an overarching disliking sheesh as is a red flag last time. I didn't just flip-flop it to say if you like sheesh, that's a green flag, because I feel like that's not serious enough. But if &1 sheesh is your true goat sheesh and not baby monster sheesh, then that is a green flag.
Okay, all right.
Like, if you like
Dragging baby monster into this, I see.
well, that's the thing, because it's like, how are you kidding me? Like with the word sheesh, right? Like them having a song with sheesh,
Giddy
like
2.0.
yeah. So, yeah, I just feel like if you're like on &1 sheesh's side, I feel like that's a green flag.
Okay, yes. Sheesh deserves support. &1 sheesh.
I will not let it be swept under the rug by baby monster sheesh.
Yeah, like we cannot, yes. The overshadowing is unacceptable.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go in a different direction here, not related to anything we've said so far. A green flag is supporting idol actors in both fields.
Ooh, okay, I like that one.
Thank you. For example, don't disregard the fact that Jaechon is a member of DKZ. Support DKZ, support Jaechon as an actor. Don't disregard the fact that Chanu is a member of Astro and that he's an idol too. He's not just an actor. So if I heard somebody supports both fields, they're like, oh, I watched this drama and oh, I have the light stick, I'm going to a concert, I'd be like, all right, green flag.
Wow, yeah, that's a really good one. I did almost put as a green flag liking DKZ not just for Jaechon, but I thought that was maybe going a little too far. But yeah, I agree. And especially like I feel like most often, if not always, well, I mean, unless they were like a child actor or something, people are like an idol and then they get into acting.
Yeah.
So it's like they were an idol initially, but yeah. Okay. Because you talked about DKZ, I'll mention this one now. This one's a little silly. I think it's a green flag if you know about the DKZ fever / &1 broken heart man. Because that means that you know about DKZ fever and you know about &1 broken heart, both phenomenal, and or you at least know about this podcast. Because why else would you know about this man? I mean, if you know about this man but you don't know he was in those things, that does not count.
Yeah, that would be kind of like, that would be surprising.
Yeah, it would be surprising, but that's not what I mean. I mean, you have to know like his icon status within these things. And I feel like that would be like, wow, really? Like, you know about that guy? Like, that would be a green flag for me, definitely.
I agree. Green flag. All right. Here is another green flag. I'm just going to say it. It's a green flag if you bias Juyeon before Road to Kingdom. Juyeon from The Boys. Now,
okay.
I don't really know. Like, I wasn't exactly sure what the takeoff point was, but I feel like maybe Road to Kingdom is when people started to be like, Juyeon, like, oh, like, let me pay attention, let me recognize. So like, if you biased him before that, you like, yeah, green flag. You knew what was happening, like what was up, because he was always there. Like, maybe
True.
maybe people only were appreciating for him for like his visuals, like, Bermuda line got a lot of recognition, sure. But were people really biasing Juyeon because he is Juyeon? I don't know. I was. I mean, so like, I feel like,
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
I feel like now if you bias Juyeon or like after that point, it's like good that you finally started to see the light, but I feel like maybe you're just hopping on a trend.
Yeah, I can feel that definitely. I biased Chuyeon. He was like my original bias, if we remember. If we remember. So like I'm green flag all the way.
Yeah, okay, sure. Check out episode whatever. I'll put a card. If you're listening on YouTube, you can go check out the episode where we reference that. Thank you.
Okay, on a similar note, not similar to the boys, but on a similar note, okay?
Okay.
This one's spicy, okay?
Oh, it's never good when you say things are spicy.
I have a few spicy ones, okay? That's what the flag episodes are for. So this one's a bit spicy. Unless you have sense and you've got this green flag, then it was never spicy at all. It's a green flag if you never did not want Yenon in Pentagon.
Oh, well, yes, I have to agree with that.
Like, I'm talking, like, not for one moment did you ever think, like, oh, yeah, maybe that's something that they should just do. Like, no. Like, 100%. Not even during Pentagon Maker or whatever that show was called. Okay? The whole time, 100% of the time that you have known about Yenon and that you have known about Pentagon, if every time you have been here with us on board, green flag.
I agree. Not even during his longest hiatus. If you ever even if I don't care, okay? We went through a lot. Cube, I know. It's like saying it is like ugh, like they really just dragged us through the mud. But they didn't drag us more than they dragged Yenon. And so if you were there, if you were supporting Yenon, if you were biasing Yenon, green flag. If you still would say, oh yeah, like I stan Pentagon and I really want to say still that Yenon is my bias, you know what, green flag. Because he always showed so much that he wanted to be part of Pentagon, and he deserves that.
Yeah, like I am all for if a member leaves a group for whatever reason, I'm all for like having everyone move on from that, you know, if that's what is making sense and that's what it seems like people want to do. But like every time that I see Yenon involved with Pentagon, it just seems like he wants to be there so much, and it brings so much like light and joy to the group. Having him there, I don't care what anybody says. So for all the people that were out there thinking anytime he was gone to be like, oh, is he even in Pentagon anymore? Oh, I don't think he's really even in it anymore. No. You don't get the green flag.
I do agree though with that little point that you made. Like, I don't care. This can be my hypocritical point, like with Yenon and Pentagon. But like, yeah, if in other situations, though, sometimes it's a little annoying when you're, like, still talking about a member that was in the group, like, 10 years ago or something like that.
Right,
and it's
yeah.
like, okay, well, everybody seems to have moved on now except you. So maybe it's time. But Yenon, no, I'll hold on to this.
Yeah, the Yenon saga, like, it never closed, I don't think.
Yeah.
And so until some point it does concretely close, then I'll try to be respectful. But until that point, I don't understand. It's like how, and this is not related at all, but it's kind of like how when they gave the message about Goyu from Blitzers, technically it sounded like they said I don't remember what the wording was, but it seemed like it was like temporarily or like right now or something. And I was like, oh, okay, so he can come back. It's kind of like that, but not really.
Okay. Well, another one of my green flags is maybe a little bit similar to the one that I had just talked about with Juyeon. It's a green flag if you stan a group because you actually appreciate their talent and enjoy their music and content, and you're not just standing them because it's popular or because it's trendy.
Wow, okay.
I feel like this is kind of like an obvious thing. Like, of course it would be a green flag. Like, lots of people are jumping on the bandwagon with different K-pop groups, different K-pop things, like sounds, styles. But when you're really in it, it means more. And so it's a green flag to me personally.
Okay, I'm going to bring up a green flag that I have that might sound kind of like the opposite of this, but that I feel like is trying to give the same sentiment.
Okay,
maybe we think about this sentiment like being displayed in a different way.
Okay.
So my green flag, it's kind of along these lines, is, and it's kind of iffy. It's not a concrete green flag. Like I could definitely still see it being bad. But if you are sort of like asked or prompted for like, oh, like, what fandom are you in? Or like, what K-pop group do you stan or whatever? If you say that you don't really have one in particular, like a fandom in particular that you're part of, or if you say the group that you like rather than the fandom name, and you still seem of sound mind, I feel like that's a green flag. Like, I feel like I would be more concerned if I was like, oh, like, who do you like? And you were like, I'm a stay. And like, you immediately say, I don't know why that's the first fandom name that came up, but if you immediately say that you're in a certain fandom and use the fandom name, I immediately think, oh, I don't know if I can like hang with you because I don't know, like, you might like K-pop a lot more than me.
Okay.
So there's that. But then also, if you just say like, oh, like, I just enjoy K-pop, like, I don't really know what group immediately I would be like hardcore for, that makes me feel like you might like it in a more like a less obsessive way as well, because you're just like, oh, I enjoy K-pop, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Like, you didn't immediately make me think that you are like blindly following a certain group or trend or whatever, and you're like more actively thinking about it.
Okay. All right. I think that's fair. Fair
but
enough.
Like, you can totally, like, you can be like, oh, I'm Mumbebe, and like, I would still think that's fine. Like, you could not do this green flag and I could still think you're fine, or you could do this green flag and I could be like, oh, they are clearly there just for the trend because they don't even know about fandom names. So it's kind of not like the best green flag like wording, I guess. But
yeah, like, I can think about it the way that it seems like you're thinking about it, and I can agree with it. But then, yeah, like what you just said, on the other side, it can be like, oh, well, it seems like it would be able to be in a like twisted in a bad way too, or like something that I don't know.
The tone definitely would matter. The tone.
Yeah. Okay. Well, how about this green flag that's like sort of maybe contradictory, like, to anything that I could say, but like, I think it's overall something that's important. And so like we said at the beginning, like, everything kind of has like a limit, you know?
Right.
So it's a green flag if you enjoy K-pop the way that you want, or like on your own terms.
Okay.
You're not letting people tell you what to like, or, what songs are good, what songs are bad, what content you need to be prioritizing or something, or you're not a fan if you don't do this or something. Like, if you're just enjoying K-pop, then that's a green flag.
Yes. I feel like that's kind of similar to the sentiment that I was like trying to attach to the last one.
That's kind of what I thought, because I had this one in my bank. So I was like, maybe she's thinking of it like that. But, if you're enjoying K-pop and it's in a bad way, like, I don't think that's a green flag. It's like, oh, I'm enjoying it the way I want, but it's like a way that I don't think is okay, then obviously that wouldn't be a green flag.
Yeah.
Or like, there's a limit.
Yeah, there's a limit. But like, I get to like what you're saying can be like, people can be liking K-pop, but then seeing what like fans are doing and think that they have to do those things as well, or else they're not good fans. Like, I have to tweet these things, I have to participate in these, promotion things that all these other people are doing, or else, and then they get stressed out, and then they start only focusing on that, and they think, well, if we didn't get our group to chart with all these streams, then what are we even doing? And I'm like, I don't know, listening to the music and enjoying it and being happy. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I guess kind of I can leapfrog off of that in a way. This green flag is not liking competition shows. Like, I feel like, I mean, it's perfectly fine if you do because you like that kind of content, I guess. But if you are specific, if I'm first meeting you and you're like, oh my God, I can't stand those Mnet and the boys band and why is everything a competition show nowadays? I'd be like, oh, okay, this person, they know what they're talking about. So it's not like it's a red flag if you like competition shows, but I do think it's kind of a green flag if you don't like them.
Okay. Yes, definitely. We talked repeatedly about how the competition shows are getting out of control.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a green flag if you like bright boy group concepts.
Oh, okay.
This is very important to me.
I feel like that's all of Korea right now, but okay. To us, I mean, just saying.
That's one of the reasons that I have been liking the things lately, because it Rise, To Us, CB1, they've been bringing back the bright boy group concept. And so some people just don't like it at all. They're like repulsed by it. They're like, ew, well, why do I want this? And I'm like, because it's fun and it's enjoyable. So if you like it, it's a green flag.
Okay, cool. I like that one. I'll say, I guess if you like, I don't know, like I don't want to lump too many of my kind of spicy ones together. I'll do a spicy one right now. If you don't like Western promo, that's a green flag.
Okay. I just want to jump in and say that I have something similar.
Okay. Yeah, like what I mean by this is kind of just like if you're not like super hyped to hear that a group is going to do a lot of Western promo for their comeback, like, maybe they're even like, oh, our comeback stage is going to be like, Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, Kelly Clarkson, the Today Show. If you're like not hyped about that and you're kind of like, oh, great, that's going to be terrible, I'd say that's a green flag. I'd say, you know what? I'm on board with the way you're thinking.
Okay. I definitely agree. I have phrased my similar green flag in a little bit more of like a general way of saying it's a green flag if you prefer when K-pop is treated as K-pop and promoted as K-pop.
Ooh, okay.
Like,
nice.
If you're okay with it being labeled K-pop, that's a green flag. If you prefer when idols go on the Korean music shows, if they make the content on their channel, if they go on other, Dingo, things like that, like channels that are known for K-pop related things, that's a green flag. Like if you prefer that over, some of the stuff that you mentioned or similar things.
Yeah. And once again, it's not necessarily a red flag if you're the opposite. It could just be like, not a green flag. I can take this further. I'm treating it as a separate green flag once again. But I'd say if you don't watch like BuzzFeed, like Vogue, those sort of channels, K-pop content, I'd say that's a huge green flag. Like if I hear that you are like, oh, did you see the, T by T Puppy interview? I'm kind of like, oh, no, I didn't watch that. And I'm kind of thinking like, oh, maybe they don't really like K-pop the same way that I do. But if you're like, oh, I don't watch, I cannot stand those BuzzFeed videos. I would be like, oh, okay. Green flag. Like, yeah. I understand if people are like, it's not my favorite type of content, but I want to take in as much content of like the groups that I like, so I watch it. But I can't even stand to see the thumbnails and like the titles.
Yeah, it's just such a way.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I almost wrote that as a green flag. I literally almost had that, but then I felt kind of like, oh, well, it's like, it's not the worst thing in the world, but like it is a green flag in the way that you're saying, like,
right. Like it's not bad enough to be a red flag if you like to do it, but I think it's good enough if you don't do it to be a green flag.
Yeah. And like I would say maybe not, I don't know if I'd take it as far as like if you don't watch it at all. I would maybe just say like if I encountered you and you were saying like, if that's like the only type of K-pop that you watch.
Ooh, okay.
Or like, you know, that's all that you wait for to come out. It's like, oh, I can't wait for this group to be interviewed by this place, and it's like one of those. I'm kind of like, oh, okay, like we definitely don't take in the same type of K-pop content.
Yeah. I would be like, I wonder if this person is interested in seeing the better K-pop content. Because sometimes that's all that they know of, you know? Sometimes people, like, especially if they're just getting into K-pop, and that's what's showing up on their feed, and like it's mainly in English, probably things like that, there may be more like, oh yeah, I watched this, and they don't even know to like go and see the other channels that are going to have other types of stuff. Maybe they just need some help.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have a content related green flag, and it's very general. It's just that it's a green flag if you watch long form content.
Ooh, okay.
And I think this is something that is a green flag because it is just such a different vibe from those types of videos. Like a short interview or something like that from not even the group's own channel is going to be vastly different from what you might see on, for example, the group's YouTube or a variety show or a reality show, something like that. Like, if you're watching Going 17 or something like that, or if you see the members' vlogs on their channel, if you watch music show behind content even, like, I would consider all of that a green flag, but, like, especially if you're watching, like, you know, even longer programs, like, I don't know, Chillin' in the Dream, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I think like we're doing kind of general green flags, but you could go into specifics for groups, even like a group that I like. A green flag for someone else who likes that group would be if they've seen a certain type of content like from that group specifically.
Yes.
So yeah, I get that. I definitely get that. 'Cause just in general, if you, like you were saying, if you watch like a group's content, like their own personal content, I think that's a green flag versus if you haven't, in terms of liking the group. Like if you say that you like a group and you haven't seen any of their content, I kind of feel like, oh, I don't know if you're there yet. Because that's the way that I, like, you know, what would you say? I don't know. Like that's my level of whether I'm really like saying I'm a fan of the group or not. If I've only heard their music and I've only kind of like seen them around and I'm like, oh, I really enjoy their music, but I haven't taken in their other content, I don't want to consider myself like a fan of them yet.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I don't know them.
Yeah. Well, I actually can build a little bit because I mentioned NCT Dream's content, Chillin' in the Dream. And I have as a green flag that it is a green flag if NCT Dream is your favorite NCT unit.
Ooh, okay.
Because, like, we're just, like, we're on the same page as far as NCT goes.
I totally understand that green flag. I would, I would say, yeah, I would agree. Okay. How about, this one is for the real ones out there. This one, if you know, you know, because it's a green flag if you know about Road B Icarus.
Ooh, yes. Okay.
Like I'm sorry, but I feel like there's only a handful of people. And so if you're one of them, I would be like, wow, that is impressive. You know Road B Icarus? Green flag.
Sure, why not? I have a similar one. It's
Okay.
a green flag if you know Snooper.
Oh, okay.
Platonic love, absolutely iconic. You gotta know about it.
I feel like I I always want to think that they're like an ancient group, like they're from so long ago. But so I was gonna be like, I feel like you would have had to have been in K-pop for a while to know about that. But I guess not.
They have like a lot of really good songs, and they're very different sounding from a lot of K-pop songs. They're more like J-pop in some sense. They a lot of them have a very anime feeling, and so I feel like if you know Snooper, it's like, wow, like cool.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I only have one one more official one written down here. And it's kind of the most predictable type, maybe. I'm gonna say it's a green flag if you stan Blitzers, or of course, how could we go through this podcast without saying Pentagon?
Stan Pentagon.
Stan
you
Pentagon.
have to stan Pentagon.
So like I feel like I tried to pick groups that were the type of groups that are the most like with Blitzers, it's kind of like if you stan Blitzers, I feel like you're just cool. Like you're just here for like cool, good, fun talent. And it's like they're not known enough for you to be standing them for any sort of like mainstream reason, you know? So it seems like you must like have good taste and know good things if you stan Blitzer. So I'm like green flag. And then with Pentagon, after all of this time, if you're still here for Pentagon, you know, you got past Shine era, right? And you got past Road to Kingdom. You got past Hui Boys Planet. And you're still...
What a journey it's been.
You're still standing Pentagon to this day. I feel like that's a green flag, even just for stick-to-itiveness in and of itself.
I agree. I have standing Pentagon is a green flag as well.
Okay.
Because it's important. It's fundamental to BlushCat.
Absolutely.
It's fundamental to life.
True. Okay. So, yeah, I wanted to throw one in there that was kind of like... last time, you know, I said with the red flags, I was picking unproblematic people. It's a red flag if you don't like them. And so then here I tried to pick like, it's not that they're like unproblematic groups or whatever, but just groups that I feel like if I hear that you like those groups, I kind of feel like that could only mean good things.
Okay. I'll once again continue with a similar green flag. Standing Billy and standing Wiki Miki.
Wait. Okay. Sorry. Go.
I consider those green flags because those are two groups that they have a lot of similarities, and I feel like it's just a good time. If you're standing these groups, even considering Wiki Miki has disbanded,
Oh no.
It's, you know, it's a green flag because what have they done wrong? Nothing. They have good performances, they have good music, they have good content. It's just, they're nice groups that are enjoyable. So I feel like you're maybe going to be a better person if you stan either of these groups or both. So an extra green flag, 2 green flags if you stan both Billy and Wiki Miki.
Nice. I was like reacting the way that I was when you first started talking about it because I feel like I was considering Billy in some sort of green flag. I was like, I feel like they are just like, yeah,
they deserve it.
There's a green flag tied to them somehow. Like something about liking Billy needs to be greenlit, you know, green flagged. Like I knew it. I just didn't really know, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So wow, okay. When we could all feel it. You guys knew it. You were like, you know what? Billy, I bet. And it's because it's true.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I do have another green flag that I'm actually not even, like, I wasn't exactly sure if I wanted to say it's a green flag or not, but like in my heart, I kind of feel like for the most part, like we said, there's a limit. Like you could be one and it like you could be very bad. But in general, I think based on what I've seen, it's a green flag if you are a shawwal.
Oh, okay.
Like if you consider yourself a shawwal, because I feel like you're probably going to be a little bit older, a little bit more mature at least. And you probably know how to appreciate artistry and music. You're probably a little more respectful of boundaries. And you're probably like, not as strict with them, with having them as your idols. It's like, oh yeah, I support, Minho as an actor, but I'm also a big SHINee fan. He can go ahead and he can do that. He doesn't always have to be doing exclusively SHINee schedules. I support Taemin as a soloist, but I also support him as a member of SHINee.
Yeah, okay. That kind of reminds me of like, if I were to try and think of a fandom that I think would be a green flag, you might think that I would want to say Monbebe, because we've talked highly about them before. But I actually don't feel like that's a green flag, and it's for one very specific reason. That honestly, like, if we were doing more red flags, I would put it there. But it's just that sometimes Monbebe, they say OT6, and I just feel like that's unnecessary. I just feel like there's no reason for you to call Monsta X OT6 unless you're trying to specifically point out that there's 6 members now, not 7. And like, you could just say nothing about the number. Like, why bring up the number? It just seems uncomfortable to me.
Yeah.
So sometimes Monbebe do that. It's probably only, specific Monbebe, but it is a Monbebe trait that I've seen. And so I wouldn't necessarily green flag. No, I could. Honestly, it's one of the best fandom types that I've seen, Monbebe. So yeah, okay.
Okay. How about this green flag that I'm not even sure. I have absolutely no idea if this is even something that occurs in K-pop.
Okay.
But it would definitely be a green flag if you do not listen to leaks.
Ooh, okay.
Like, if you know about a song being leaked ahead of time, or choreography or anything like that, content maybe, and you are like, no, I'm going to wait. I'm not listening to it now. Like, the album has a date that it's coming out for a reason. It is being released as, like, for a reason. Like, I'm not listening to any sort of leak. That's definitely a green flag.
Okay. I had a similar, like, I was going back and forth between trying to work something in that would be a green flag like this or not what you're saying, what I'm about to say. But then I was thinking, am I going too far? Like, am I like giving someone a gold star for doing the bare minimum?
Yeah.
That sort of vibe. Like, is that really, do I have to call that a green flag in this climate? Like, that's the best we can do. But because I wanted to say, like, people that, don't listen to dating rumors, they don't, like, I don't know, gossip about people's personal lives. Like, basically just like being a regular, respectful person, I wanted to put as a green flag. It's kind of sad.
That's sad that's
yeah.
like, yeah.
But like, I was basically just trying to list off all different types of things that would be like being respectful as a fan of the artist or of the group and respecting their boundaries and stuff would be a green flag. But I feel like you should probably just do that in general, and you shouldn't be like necessarily rewarded for doing that. You should just do it naturally.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will just share a couple more, and they're kind of like, I feel like this should be a lot more common than maybe it is. I don't really know how common it is, but so maybe this like green flag could apply to a lot of people. I don't know. But it's a green flag if you listen to B-sides and old songs regularly from a K-pop artist. If you know about all the songs on the album, and if you're not just only listening to their newest stuff, because it kind of is going back to like the whole trendy thing. Like, if you're just following the trends, it's not really a green flag for me. If you like, it makes me feel like you really do appreciate the group. Like, you're not just hopping on the trend.
Yeah, I like that.
Thanks.
It seems like another instance of like, it's not necessarily that it's a red flag if you don't listen to the B-sides and stuff like that. It just is like extra nice boost if you hear that the other person does.
Yeah.
Because I don't always hear all the B-sides.
Yeah. I did think of you when I wrote that, and I was like, well, that's okay though. That's okay. Like,
yeah, it's not a red flag for me not
it's
to.
not a red flag, and you still at least have listened to the B-sides. And
yeah, I've got plenty of B-sides.
And you listen to old songs, and I lumped
Definitely.
that. I lumped that together, so it's fine. Okay, so yeah. Lastly, I would just say it's a green flag if you know how to appreciate a ballad.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's another nice one.
I'm not saying that ballads have to be your favorite. I'm not saying that it's a red flag if you are like, oh, I really don't like ballads. But if you do, if you're like, oh, the vocals, I'm like, okay, green flag.
You're like, girl after my own heart. I get it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, those were our casual, just for fun, not to be taken too seriously, green flags, that maybe give you a little bit of insight on the types of way that we like K-pop and the types of things that we value.
Yeah.
But like, once again, you can like K-pop your own way, and as long as everyone's being respectful and not too obsessive, I'd say it's good times all around.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. And if you agree, and if you enjoyed hearing our green flags, please like the video on YouTube, and you can also leave us a comment. Share some of your own K-pop green flags. Let us know if you have the same green flags as us. And while you're on YouTube, if you are not already subscribed, please subscribe to BlushCat and turn on notifications. Remember to also check out episode 68 to hear our K-pop red flags. And also remember that you can be listening to the BlushCat podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you head over to our Spotify, you can save several of our K-pop playlists that we have to your library.
Now I'm panic thinking at the last moment that I didn't re-listen to the red flag one, and I really hope that I wasn't hypocritical in some capacity. But I hope you guys enjoy listening to it if you do, and I hope you enjoy listening to this episode.
This has been Fury X-atron.
And me. Bye.
Meow 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 meow. Meow 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 meow.